but yeah, man, my real focus here is on the label, and
Yeah.
you know, that's where I want to be, and that's what I'm really good at.
Excellent. And would you say that the desire to uh, opt for a healthier sort of balance and healthier lifestyle, and something that was a bit more lucrative on the regular, not having that angst and that struggle, would have been the inspiration? A
Yeah,
big part of it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just like wanting that regular paycheck, you know, wanting that stability. I mean, we all get to a point in our lives, whether it's in our early 30s, mid 30s, or even early 40s, where we're just like, I don't have the stability that I need, and it's time for me to really think about what that stability means and how I can achieve it. So stability was really a driving factor, and yeah, lifestyle was really a driving factor as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So was it that transition with the income, like, you know, and the income projection from the label, and try to sustain and try to have it? I mean, obviously it didn't happen overnight where you could have,
No.
yeah. When did you realize, okay, now it's time to keep knocking back the DJ work and go through that shift? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what basically happened is, you know, I kind of made this decision, and I took a partner on who was no longer with me, but you know, he made a small investment into Bastard Jazz. But at that time, we were doing, you know, 2 or 3 12 inches or 7 inches a year, because that was what I could afford out of like setting aside my DJ earnings. So he made enough of an investment that we were able to put out our first album, which was Captain Planet's first record, Cooking Gumbo.
All right.
And that record surprised us, and we got a lot of press on it. And we basically, you know, made our money back within that on that record, and within 6-8 months. And that was when I kind of realized, like, hey, there's something here into like doing artist development, doing campaigns, like really stretching out and really like thinking creatively and thinking strategically about this. And you know, that's been a complete evolution for me. Like the way we approached, you know, that first Captain Planet Cooking Gumbo album is very, very different than the way we approach, you know, a new artist or a developed artist today. So but that was what really started it for me, man, was actually just putting out a full length, you
Yeah.
know, and really putting a budget behind it. Rather than just like pressing a 12-inch and being like, okay, I've got $500 to market you.
Yeah.
You know, being like, hey, we're pressing your record to CD, we're pressing your record to vinyl. I've got $8,000 that I'm going to throw into this project in terms of PR, marketing, social media spends. And it worked. It worked. It worked
Excellent.
beyond my wildest imagination, you know?
Yeah, I guess over time, it becomes an art form, the nuances and understanding the nuances and of how to that strategy, and knowing it's like a game of chess almost, you know, like
Absolutely.
yeah, and I would say now it seems like you kind of really mastered this sort of form, like because you've got regular releases coming out, you're balancing both labels as well.
Yeah.
You've understood the culture around digital music as well, and physical sales, and you've got this. It seems like you've got a really nice system going on here, you know, and I guess that's not something that you can just learn overnight. Like that's taken time.
It's taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of reading, a lot of podcasts, a lot of effort, a lot of sitting alone in my bedroom late at night with a journal. But also, you know, one of the best things that we did, and Nick was a part of this too. Nick and I are partners in Wonder Wheel, so we both own half the business there. But we made a group decision that we're going to start hiring people, and this was like what we were trying to do with both labels, because both labels are really growing at the same time. What we were trying to do with both labels was turning me into an absolute stress case. And I mean, I'm still an absolute stress case. But that we needed to find some good people that we could delegate to. And that really started making all the difference in the world, because it took me out of the admin side of things, like out of the number crunching, out of the tediousness of uploading a record to your distributor and making sure that like all the file names are titled exactly correctly.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of work. That's a big part of this industry, is Excel spreadsheets, is like attention to minutia. And I have never, like, attention to detail has never been a strong suit for me. And, one of the best decisions I think we made was to bring on first my kind of right-hand man, JJ, and then over time bring on some other folks, like somebody to handle shipping for us, and then somebody to kind of be a general administrative assistant who takes care of tasks that, like, we have floating around that like doesn't really fall into anybody's job category.
Yeah.
And that's been a real key to our growth, to be honest with you. And it's also been just amazing watching my employees, who have never worked for a record label before, like send these unbelievable professional emails where they're like, holy shit, you got this down, man. You know what you're talking about now. And that feels really good to see my people communicating on a level that sometimes higher than a level that I would be communicating on, and that feels really good. It's a great feeling, and that's contributed a lot to the growth.
Yeah. And creating that, and being able to like offer placements for people coming up in the music industry as well. Like, I remember when I visited your office, there were a couple of people in their office there and I knew that they appeared to be in their early 20s, and it must be just such a great place to learn, and being able to, use their own skills and bring, I guess that's what's rewarding for you, right? Like that, being able to produce a place to start people's careers as well now. That I guess you're moving into that kind of space now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one important thing that I really try to do with my employees is like, obviously we have meetings where we kind of do performance reviews, like once a year. And
that's great.
Those are big learning opportunities for both my employees and myself, because it's a chance for me to give feedback on what's been working and what hasn't been working. But, it's also an opportunity for them to give feedback on what's been working from me and what's not been working from me. So I really view it as both of us doing a review of each other and walking away from that, with some actionables that we can both kind of take and integrate moving forward in the work. But another thing that I really try to do is, every couple of months, just sit down individually with the people I'm working with and be like, hey, are you happy with what you're doing? Are you seeing a place? Are you seeing an opening here that you could fill the gap into? Are you seeing things that you want to do that's not getting done? Like, tell me what you're thinking about what we could be doing better here and how you could fit into that. So it's kind of like a mini performance review, but more just like a, hey, like, where are you at with this? And what do you think we could do better? And how do you think you could do better? And how do you think you could contribute in a more positive way that you would really enjoy as well? So just I just believe in kind of taking extra care of your employees, and just like really looking out for them and with this whole virus thing, one of the first things we do when we hop on Zoom and every morning is we all just check in and see how we're feeling. Like, see, like, maybe I'm feeling depressed today, and maybe somebody's feeling hopeless, and we spend 10 minutes talking about that before we even get into work.
That's great.
Yeah, and that sets a tone. That sets a tone that we're a team. That it's not just like three people working for me and I'm calling the shots. It's like, I'll be like, guys, I'm feeling scared today. I don't want to go outside. I'm worried, and we'll all talk about this, like, very, very honestly together, and it really works, as far as just really kind of bringing cohesiveness into how we're operating as a team. I would even say that doing this remote work has brought us closer together as a team.
It's crazy. It's crazy how, like, we've had to sort of see this new paradigm based on these circumstances, and then makes us wonder, like, hey, we could be doing business like this a bit, actually. Like, we could be operating the way, like, it's showing us a different light now, isn't it? I've noticed that also with my own work, and like, and I'm as you know, I'm in Dubai, and, like, just looking at the sky, just the pollution levels have dropped because there's no cars on the road, and there's no, like, it seems, it's almost like, hey, I can actually see blue sky here a lot clearer. It's just crazy how we realize that maybe we should be working from home more, and spending more time. But I mean, I don't know if that is the way forward, but I think that we're going to start, when things start to normalize, this part of this new experience is going to become part of our culture.
I believe that too. And as we see what's going to happen with our economy, it might be time for a lot of offices to give up their physical space and pivot to this kind of remote work. I mean, WordPress is a huge company with a great example. They don't have a space. WordPress does not have an office, and they have 790 employees working for them.
Oh, wow.
And they are just like, they're absolute gods of remote work.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, people are doing it, and this may be the way forward.